Well, welcome back to another episode of PrimeTime Notaries, where notaries of a certain age gather to talk about the challenges of being an older signing agent and exchange information, tips, and tricks. And as a bonus, we include general notary information for any age. And as a matter of fact, that's our total topic this time is general notary work. So today is Wednesday. Oops, I'm going to get somebody muted here. Where are you? There you go. Today is Wednesday, September 15. This is a once monthly event that's completely free, but you do need to register for each session that you want to attend. As a reminder, everybody keep your mics muted unless you're actively engaged in speaking, so as to minimize any background noise. And we are happy to see everybody, even though we can't see everybody. How about some cameras here so we can see some of those smiling faces? Turn on your video, guys. Wave hi. Let us know you're really people behind those monikers there. If you have a video feed, we'd like to actually see people, so you need to be dressed. That's our only qualification. Don't care if your hair is not combed. So if you're dressed, turn on your cameras. Let's see who we're talking to. We do have a set agenda today, but if you have a question, just pipe up, raise your hand, or type your question into the chat window, and we will try to answer your questions. So my name is Beth Hathoot. I've been a notary since 1994. I know I'm dating myself here. And a signing agent since 2001. I worked for a local title company as a processor closer for a few years before striking out on my own as a mobile notary signing agent. I'm currently an instructor for Notary Stars, and that company is owned and operated by Mr. Ronnie Nichols. I'm joined by Ronnie Nichols. Miss Phyllis Traylor is here as well. Carol Ray generally graces us with her appearance, but she had a prior commitment today, so she's not going to be here. And we do have another flip on our agenda. We had a guest speaker who was not able to make it either. She had a family emergency. So we've been graced by Miss Sharon Robinson, and we're going to hear from her a little bit later in the program. So Miss Phyllis, if you would like to kick us off and just tell us a little bit about yourself so everybody knows who you are. I know you're here, Phyllis. Oh, there's three of you. I don't know which one to unmute for you, Phyllis.
Okay, can you hear me?
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Phyllis Traylor, and I am located in the beautiful state of Texas. I'm in the San Antonio area. A little background about myself. I've been a notary for about 11 years now. I am retired from the Army. I am a former full-time professor at a local college and a former visiting professor at a local university. 2018, I was the NNA Notary of the Year Special Honoree. 2019, I was invited by the Texas Secretary of State to speak at their Notary Public conference. 2020, I did a presentation for the National Business Institute on RON for attorneys doing continuing education. I am the owner of the Texas Notary Public Training Academy and owner of the Texas Notary Patron Learning Membership Community. I also participate in a monthly training with Michelle Briley that we call Notary Gals. And we also have a notary lounge on Clubhouse. So check us out there too. We do Clubhouse every other Sunday at 3 o'clock. And just happy to be here. Thank you guys for showing up.
Thank you so much, Phyllis. And how about Mr. Ronnie Nichols? Ronnie, can you unmute and tell us your whole background story?
Sure. So I'm Ronnie Nichols, and I'm the original owner of Unlimited Ink Notary. I grew my signing agency from a single notary to we are currently about 4 million a year now. We have a large team, and I brought on a co-owner, Travis Myers, who also helps run Unlimited Ink. So if you've worked with us, you'll definitely know Travis's voice. He is really running the company from about 11 p.m. to 7, but we have managers from 5 a.m. until 2 a.m. But I also own Notary Stars, and that's where I spend most of my time now, is where we train notaries nationwide. We do advanced training at Notary Stars, where we go through the entire loan package page by page, what to look for, what the documents mean, how to execute them. I find that continuous training breeds the best notaries. So our notaries actually have available training live Monday through Thursday with a general mentorship every week. So I split my time between the companies, but I definitely spend more time at Notary Stars and doing events like this where we can bring, education to the whole notary community. And I get to spend time with Miss Phyllis and Miss Carol and Miss Beth, which is, the highlight of my month, because believe it or not, these are probably the 3 most fascinating women in our industry that I know of thus so far. So I get to learn myself while I'm teaching. So it's amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ronnie. Thanks for that pat on the back for Phyllis and me. You are in a totally fascinating, and Miss Carol, total fascinating young entrepreneur, multi-business owner person you are. How's that? So today we're not going to do a notary hack. We typically take a few minutes and bring a really fascinating notary hack to you. Today we're not going to do that. We're going to jump right into our topic. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about general notary work versus loan signing work. And we're going to take a quick peek at what some of the major differences are. Fees up front. Fees are the major difference that you're going to see between general notary work and loan signings. So loan signings are a flat fee as you're being paid to deliver a presentation and supervise a signing along with the notarization piece. General notary work fees are whatever your allowable fees are based on your state regulations. And in some cases, you can actually make more in general notary work than you can on a loan signing, depending on how many documents you're signing, right? But a lot of notaries seem to resist doing general notary work. And I think the biggest piece of that fear comes from the unknown. It prevents good loan signing agents from doing general notary work. And in loan signings, you're pretty well trained in all the standard document types in a loan package. But still, we can't train every variation, but we get close. In general notary work, there could be literally hundreds of different documents that someone might present to you that you've never seen before. And there's no way to bring that to you. We can give you general categories of types of documents, but someone will throw out a handwritten document and it just strikes fear in some of the best signing agents when they're faced with having to do general notary work. But I think the thing that we have to remember is because in general notary work, our only job is to notarize those documents, other than IDing the signer and notarizing those documents, it should be seen as a lot simpler, okay? So we're not there to present. We're not there to read the document and give them any advice or do any type of general overview of that document. That's not our job when we do general notary work. We only need to make sure that the signer knows what they're signing. And from that point, all we're doing is scanning the document for blank spaces. We don't want to notarize anything that could be changed after we do our piece, right? So we're going to scan the document for blank spaces. We're going to check the certificate so that you know what kind of a notarial act it is and whether you can do that in your state. And then check to see if there's any witness requirements. So sometimes, depending on the document, it might be witnesses and or a notary. So be sure you know which is being done. Living wills or trust agreements in some states have a requirement for 2 witnesses and a notarial certificate. And in some states, it's an either or situation and not a requirement for both. So not all documents are going to be exactly the same. When you get down to your certificate and those witness lines, just read those 2 paragraphs just to be sure that you know whether you're doing just the notarial part or if it is a witness or notary. And sometimes your signer's going to want both. They say, well, I want the witnesses, but I really want you to notarize it as well. You can do that. It's not as difficult as doing loan signings. We spend a lot of time with our head down in the book or staring at a screen, going through training. And the general notary work piece is really a lot simpler than that. You don't need to know what the document is. You just need to be certain that your signer knows what they're signing, that they're competent to sign the document, and that it contains a certificate that you can use, or if you have to attach a certificate, if it doesn't have any notarial wording, you're just deciding to attach a loose certificate. So you're going to make sure that your signer chooses that certificate. So we're not authorized to draft documents often. In general notary work, people will ask us to bring a particular power of attorney to them or something similar. Can you put this together for me? Can you put this, draw this up in a document for me? Absolutely not. Most states, notaries are not authorized to draft documents at all. It's considered unauthorized practice of law. It's equally risky to advise them where to find a document that they need. If you send them to a website and they choose a document that's wrong for their state or situation, that could fall in on you very quickly. Even auto insurance companies anymore don't tell you who to go to replace your windshield when it's broken. The liability is just too great to risk anything for your company. You could refer them to an attorney or to a service like Legal Shield. That would be fine, but never provide a document, never direct them specifically to a website where they can make up their own document. That could be a liability to you as well. But refer them to an attorney or service like Legal Shield. And listen, by the way, that's a side gig for us notaries, right? We can be Legal Shield representatives and sell them a membership through Legal Shield. There's my piece for today. I am going to segue over to Mr. Mickle. His topic's going to be why you should look for general notary work.
Sure thing, Ms. Beth. I was going to chat it in, but I'll just reiterate what you said. One thing about notaries, it actually scares me when I hear notaries say, oh, I sell power of attorneys, I have these documents. At that point, you are acting as an attorney would act in most states. You are not allowed to present the documents. And I got tired over time referring people like, oh, you can get it at Staples. I'd give them like 3 choices. And then I said, I can't tell you where to get the documents. Contact an attorney so they can tell you. But then I got tired of, every 4th phone call, and I'm sure all of you do it. So I actually did become part of Legal Shield in order to sell it. And I just refer them over to Legal Shield. And for that time on the phone that I spend, which if you're paying for ads like I do, you're getting a return on investment if someone does sign up through Legal Shield to get their documents. For why notaries should look for general notary work, I'm going to put it to you, Frank, and all of you guys know I'm a very loving guy. I've got just written on this arm and love written on this arm. If I were to give you a hug, it says just love. But it makes me sick when I hear a notary say, I don't do general notary work. And I think, well, and then that's the same people saying, I don't have a lot of business. It makes me sick because your first job before you can become a loan signing agent is to become a notary. And, you know, if you're in California, you know how hard it is to become a notary because you had to sit through a 6-hour course. Certain states have different, you know, Arizona, I just raised my right hand and swore to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. And pretty much I was a notary. But having worked in other states and moved, you know, several times, general notary work fills in your calendar, number one, in between loan signings. And right now we're in a refi boom. But mark my words, the notary market is extremely saturated right now. We've got a lot of notaries who replaced their income because of COVID. We have some that came into it for the money, whether, you know, some that just wanted a change in their life, no matter what the reason. In the last 3 years, the notary market in every zip code has tripled. Even if you had 2, you now have however many that makes triple. General notary work, when things start slowing down, will keep your calendar filled. Okay, that's the first thing that I want you to understand. Number 2, it is a great way to connect with your community and market yourself doing general notary work. And a lot of times people think, oh, it'll just be, you know, powers of attorney at the jail, or, you know, I'll be signing sad documents at the hospital. That's not true. I have had a lot of people who call me in to do contracts when I lived in Los Angeles. And it wasn't just Los Angeles, it was Phoenix as well. They do contracts and they get them notarized, and you can go into these professional settings and they can become regular clients. You cannot put yourself in a box. And I love this saying, you know, never put yourself in a box because they'll nail you in and forget about you. You don't want to just be like, I can't do general notary work. And then I always use these examples at Notary Stars. Number 1, we have a law firm here that called me on I think it was a Friday night. I know it was like something happening, and I wound up going up the street at 10:30 at night. I charged them $35, which $25 travel fee and a $10 signature fee. That is now turned into thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every month for unlimited ink, because I was actually signing a personal document for an attorney, and now he uses my company for everything that he does within the state of Arizona. And he is a personal injury lawyer. So he needs the notary to go out and fill out all of the documents with the clients, and there's no scanning back. You just literally print out the 15-page package, fill it out. The notary makes $70, and then they scan it back in. They don't even need the originals dropped or shipped. The notaries really like working for them. I also did a signing where I recognized that these people disclosed to me it was a gay couple and a lesbian couple. They were going to be doing a donation for the 2 lesbians to have a baby. And I recognized on their certificates that it was not the correct notarial certificate for the state of Arizona. And I said, not allowed to comment on this document. However, this notarial certificate is not correct. And I said, you know, I have them in my office. Let me run down the hall and get them. I changed their certificates. They were so grateful. Turns out I was signing a realtor who worked with a title agency I've been trying to get in touch with. I never asked him to do it. He sent an email the next day saying, I want this notary to work only with my clients. Like, he really knows what he's doing. So you never know who you're working with. And when you say, I don't do general notary work, you're really discounting your social circle. People who need notarizations may need more notarizations. And it's not just the general public, you know, a power of attorney and those types of things. There's people who have document after document after document. You may turn down a realtor because you don't know who they are or what they're doing. And it could be a real estate investor who needs deeds notarized all the time. So you don't know what you're turning down. So please, you know, don't turn down general notary work. Put your name in the hat. And yes, be selective if you want to be selective. But also, when you become a notary, before you become a loan signing agent, you're taking on a civic duty. And it also makes me a little sick to my stomach when people look at only the loan signing agent portion of it. That means they only care about money. You should care about your civic duty first, because that should come into play as a loan signing agent as well. You're appointed by your state and trusted. And I know when I was in California, when I became a notary, I'm in Arizona now, so it may have changed. I've been here for 2 terms, or in my 2nd term in Arizona. In California, it was your civic duty. If someone contacted you for a notarization and you posted that you're open, you cannot turn them down. It was frowned upon to turn them down. So if your hours of business and someone brought you a document that said, I need it notarized, you had to follow through with it, or you could actually lose your notary commission at the time. I don't know if it's the same way now, but I kind of look at it that way. So that's my thoughts on, general notary work and why you should do it. It really expands your revenue. It expands your social circle for marketing for loan signings, and you really never know who you're going to be signing that could turn into a lot of money. And of course, at the end of the day, we all want money. I don't think anyone on this call is not here because they don't want revenue. You're wanting to find ways to find revenue. Please don't turn down general notary work.
That's a good point that you brought up about refusing to do a notarization. Every state has some type of regulation that tells you under what circumstances you can refuse to notarize something. We typically think of that as after we get at the table, but he's right. If you have your hours posted 8 to 8 p.m. and you're available, most states require that you fulfill the request for a notarization. There's only a few legitimate reasons, you suspect fraud, you can't ID the person. There's only a few legitimate reasons to refuse a notarization for sure in most states. So let's see. Phyllis, would you like to unmute and
Muted.
talk to us about some marketing and advertising, and then kind of additional services that you might recommend to help fill in our schedules?
Okie dokie. Yes, I can. Good evening again. So what I always recommend to the notaries that I'm training is that you're not going to get any business if nobody knows that you're in business. So you have to market your services. So number one, I always encourage them to try to identify a target market, somebody that they would like to work with, especially in the general notary arena. You have different little pockets of types of customers that you can market to, like you have seniors, you have attorneys, you have medical doctors, social workers. So if you can identify a market to a target market, it just makes it easier to market to that target. And it also makes it easier for you to see where your marketing dollars are going. And you can become the expert for that particular market. And you don't have to stick with just one market. Once you become the expert in that one market, you can expand and continue to add different target markets to your portfolio. Also, I'd like to talk about different ways that you can market. So I always encourage people. I know a lot of times our funds are limited, especially when we first start off. So there's a lot of ways that you can market that doesn't cost you anything. For instance, you can create a Google My Business page. Doesn't cost you anything, but I have heard so many notaries, along with myself, they get a lot of traction from using just a free Google My Business page. Very simple to set up. So I highly encourage you to take advantage of that. Also, Bing has the same, offers something similar to Google My Business, where you can set up a page on Bing. Also, everybody, if you're in business, you're a serious business person, you should have a website. Nothing is going to add more validity to your business right now these days than that website. I had, for instance, I had an attorney call me a couple of weeks ago. She was looking for a notary to notarize some documents. I usually just go to my pool of Texas notary patrons because I know that they're well trained, and I will refer that work out to them. So I gave her the information to one of my patrons. And the first thing she asked me when I gave her that patron's information was, does this person have a website? And I was like, well, to be honest with you, I'm not sure. I can guarantee you that the person is well trained, but I'm not sure if she has a website. You can check with her once you contact her. But that just shows you how important it is to have a website. I have seen on so many times, I've heard so many times notary said, well, you really don't need a website in this business. If you're going to be in any type of business, you need a website. But if you feel that way, that you don't need a website, those people that are in the same business that you are in, that have a website, are happy that you feel that way. I'll leave it at that. Okay. Also, Yelp. You can do a free listing on Yelp. Take advantage of it. I have never used Yelp. I've never paid for Yelp services. I've always used their free listing. They've had a lot of traction on there. Also, I've heard a lot of notaries use Thumbtack. I've used Thumbtack to advertise. I haven't used it to accept any assignments because I think it's changed over the years where you have to pay so much to get some of the referrals out of Thumbtack. I'm not sure how it works, but I've heard other notaries who've been very successful using Thumbtack. I've done a lot of advertising on Facebook. You could do free advertisements on Facebook, and you can also pay for it. And what I like about using Facebook too is I also have an Instagram account. So you can connect your Facebook account to your Instagram account. I think they call it a business suite. So you can make one advertisement in Facebook, and it will display not only on Facebook, but it will also display on Instagram. So you're knocking out two social media platforms at the same time. Also, very good place to advertise that doesn't cost you anything is LinkedIn. Lots of professionals are still using LinkedIn. I've gotten tons of business from LinkedIn, and most of the time it's from business professionals. A lot of attorneys use LinkedIn. A lot of associations use LinkedIn. So it doesn't cost you anything to set up a profile, a business profile on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn has so many other additional tools to market your business that still don't cost you a lot of money, just cost you a little bit of time to get everything set up. And if I was you, I would keep it updated, and I would make posts that are related to the services that you have to offer. Because again, a lot of professionals do use LinkedIn. The other service that I've got a lot of traction on is called Alignable. Alignable is ALIGNABLE. This service is also a free service and also a paid service. Lots of traction on Alignable in my area. So, but I'm giving you all of these different avenues to try, because some may work better in different areas. What works really well in my area, again, Alignable works really well. LinkedIn works really well. Facebook, Instagram, and Google My Business. I would say those are the top ones that work really good for me in my area right now. So
So
now,
Phyllis,
go ahead.
all of those things that you mentioned, Google My Business being a website, kind of legitimizes you. Yelp, Thumbtack, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Alignable, those are all things that can be done free or relatively inexpensively, and it just makes you visible, makes you searchable. Is that right?
Exactly. Exactly, Beth. Exactly. Somebody posted a question in the chat, said, how about Nextdoor? There's a bunch of different apps out there that I didn't mention. So try Nextdoor and see if it works for you.
I've heard of Nextdoor, and one thing I will tell people is that I'm the king of trying anything. I'll try anything, see how it goes. I love that you reiterated, Ms. Phyllis, and I just want to back you up on this. Two things. Number one, business professionals should have a website. And, I always tell people, you can build it yourself. This day and age, Wix is probably the best and easiest form to use. We actually did a whole marketing class on it at Notary Stars, and people were able to build their own website in 2 days and SEO it properly. Second thing is, what works in someone else's area may not work in your area. And I love that you said that. I know people who do really well on Thumbtack, like in Los Angeles, but Arizona, it's not so much, because different states and different mindsets and different cultures of how much they're willing to spend for a product may not pan out in your area, but you should try until you find things that work for you. And then one thing I'd like to say is during our marketing courses for those notaries in attorney-only closing states, I say use your assets. And what I mean by that is in Atlanta, I'm from Atlanta. The predominant population in Atlanta is African-American. And I tell our young, strong Black businesswomen to get involved with, strong Black businesswomen groups. I use the LGBTQ community as a, gay man myself. I connect with groups that can help me grow as a person or as a business owner, and connect me with other like-minded business owners from my culture. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're, a woman and you're running your own business, you are a minority. Use these things to your advantage, and connect with people that will help bring you up. That is another form of marketing that I think is so overlooked when you're starting a business. It took me years before I looked around and thought, wow, there's other people like me trying to succeed that would love to help me succeed as well. And you have to look for those if you can. And if you can't find one, start one.
I agree with you 100%, Ronnie. That is so important, because when you're starting off in business, so often it feels like you're by yourself, but you're really not. It's a lot of help out there. So I always encourage all my students, the first place you need to go is the Small Business Administration. They have so many things to offer you that are free. Take advantage of it. You can get somebody else, a counselor, to sit down with you and go over your business plan, go over your marketing plan, help set you up with a score advisor. I mean, and all of the training they have, a lot of the training that they have that's related to starting your business can be done online at your own leisure. So, I mean, there's a wealth of information. I think what happens to a lot of people that get started in our business is we focus on getting the assignments, learning the trade, but not learning how to actually run a business. And if you don't know how to run a business, then you're going to get in trouble. Because like Ronnie said earlier, right now we're in a refinance boom, lots of work out there. However, we all know that real estate it goes in cycles. So as soon as this refinance boom is over with, there's not going to be a whole lot of work out there for everybody. So only those who have taken the time to set up a strong business foundation are going to be able to survive this when it does change. And it's going to switch. It's going to switch gears and it's going to go in a different direction. Anybody that's been doing this more than 2 or 3 years knows that. We've seen it over and over again. So many times we've gone through all the full circles through this. So it's going to happen. So that's why we always also encourage notaries that are in this business to add the additional services. If you have additional services, you'll be able to fill in those gaps when things do start slowing down in one arena, you can pick up in another area. So some of the additional services that I have offered in the past are completing the Form I-9s, very simple to do. These documents do not require notarization. You just serve as an authorized representative and complete the documents, and you can charge for this service. The offering apostle processing services. We had Mr. John Nelson on. He shared he shared his information on apostle training. This can be very lucrative, especially if you follow the same manner and identify a target market for your apostle processing work.
Ms. Phyllis, if you
go
don't
ahead.
mind me chiming in before I forget this, Ms. Phyllis is actually going to be at Notary Stars Boot Camp for the last one where it's Ron and where we are now. She's our guest speaker. But one thing, bringing it back full circle to our website, you reach a broader audience with a website. And for those of you that are Ron certified, you can't, for Texas, you can make money off general notary documents. You can't so much from Arizona at this moment, California, not yet. But in Texas and Florida, these guys are making pretty good money off of Ron notarizations. And having a website, you can reach a much broader audience if you know how to market it. You could beat out Notary Cam if you know how to properly SEO a website and reach far reaches. Now, websites are highly competitive, so you have to learn as a business owner. And I actually teach SEO in an advanced course on Notary Stars that you can't even just sign up for. You have to be part of the program for 60 days minimum in order to even get into the advanced marketing to learn SEO. But if you get a website started and you are able to reach those far out reaches with Ron, you've now created a product that can keep you busy. I know 1 or 2 notaries that's all they're doing. That's all. And it's not because they don't want to go out. That's that they have the business coming in and they're fine and they don't need loan signings. They're just doing general notary documents. If you have a website that can reach far reaches, properly SEO'd website and built properly and maintained properly can reach a lot of people. And with Ron, you don't have to just market to people in your state. They can be anywhere.
That's right, Ronnie. And also with Ron too, is the way I set up my website for Ron. Customers call me and they have a few questions. I can answer their questions, but all the information they need about Ron is on my website too. So I'm sending them right back to my website, even down to the point where they can make their appointment for their Ron notarization on my website. They can upload their documents that need to be notarized on my website. Everything can be done on my website. It's just a one-stop place to get everything done. So Ronnie, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to our event in October because I think we're going to have a lot to talk about. And I've actually put off the Ron conversation because I've been learning about it so much. I just became Ron certified myself and I've been doing test runs and getting our team set up for it. So I'm really looking forward to you guiding us in October.
I'm looking forward to it too. Thank you. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it. Let me see. Let me get back to some more additional services. Field inspections. You guys take advantage of it. You want to take a look at the Society of Field Inspectors. You can do inspections on the automobiles, homes, businesses, all kinds of different type of field inspections out there. And with the Society of Field Inspectors, the vendors on that particular site have already been vetted by the owner, Richard Law. And he's been around for ages, really good person, and takes what he does seriously. Process server work, if you're interested in serving civil documents. Another easy, not so much easy, but another way to add additional stream of income. Now, one that we learned about this past weekend, I do a training with Michelle Riley. We call ourselves the Notary Gals. We had a gentleman on from the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. He was actually the owner of that association. His name was Nick. I can't remember his last name, but anyway, he has a site. It's called, again, International Association of Certified Home Inspectors, where he has a training for all different types of home inspections, where people can go through the training and get the different certifications. So he talked to us as notaries, what we could do, what we could bring to the table to assist the home inspectors. And I mean, his information was mind-boggling. There's so many different ways that notaries can work hand in hand with the home inspectors. There's different tests that the home inspectors have to do that take more than 1 or 2 days to do, that a notary can get certified to do and work hand in hand with the home inspector. The training was just, I mean, it was just mind-boggling. So instead of me trying to go over all of his training, I'm going to encourage you guys to take a look at the video recording, because we did record the training. And so I'm going to put a link in there for the video recording. And I'll also put a link in there for the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors website, so you can find out additional information about that. One more thing I was going to talk about, and that's I told you guys about my my partner in crime in Notary Gals, Michelle Riley. She did a lot of mystery shopping. She was a mystery shopper for several years while she was in college. So I'm going to put the Mystery Shoppers Association's website on here too. And that's all I have for right now. Beth, do you want me to go ahead and introduce Sharon?
Yes, if you would go ahead and introduce Sharon for us and let Sharon do her spiel. We'll have a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes after Sharon, so we can ask questions from any of the speakers that we've had tonight. So yep, go ahead.
Okay, so our speaker this evening is going to be Sharon Robinson. Sharon Robinson is a Texas Notary Public. She's a certified loan signing agent and a certified apostille agent. She is also a graduate of the Texas Notary Public Training Academy and is a Texas Mighty Notary patron. She is one of the hardworking notaries who continues to participate in training while sharpening her skills as a notary professional. It has been such a pleasure working with Sharon and watching her and her business grow since she began her notary career. This evening, Sharon will be sharing an additional source of income using the app Field Day.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. As Ms. Phillips said, I'm going to tell you about the app Field Day. Field Day is an app that you can download, and it's for brand ambassadors. And I'm doing that right now. Last week, I did it for Smoothie King, and this week I'm doing for Edible Arrangements. And what it is, you download the app, create your profile, and do a short video. And once they review your video, they will contact you via email or text and ask you if you're interested in doing an assignment. Most of the assignments are like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and that pay $25 an hour. That's what they start. And you work from 10:30 to 3:30. I did for Smoothie King, and for the last Tuesday when picked up my products, I had a big cooler of samples of the Smoothie King samples. It was Mango Fest and Strawberry Kiwi. And they gave me coupons, and they gave me a brochure, and they gave me a menu. And what they do, I went within my zip code, and what they do, they're supposed to notify schools and
Sharon, your sound went out.
these. And depending on the size of the company, because I had about 50 smoothies in the cooler. And some companies I may leave 4 if it's a smaller company. Other companies I may leave 5 or 6. Then I pass out the coupons and the brochure. And once you arrive at your first destination, take a picture on the outside of the business, and then take a selfie of you with that business. Then once you go in, you identify yourself, who you are, who your brand ambassador, and they also gave me like a smoothie cap visor that I wear, and a little emblem on my shirt. Went in, everybody loved Smoothie King, so I went in, just gave them the smoothies, told them about our product, and it was great. And it was easy money. Like I said, I worked 10:30 to 3:30. That was Tuesday. Then Wednesday, all I did was pass off flyers. And I had like 41 locations. Because of course, you're not going to make out 41 because you have some companies that would not be interested in it. Don't get discouraged. Just move on to the next one. Some of the schools, they would let me in, and some schools wouldn't let me in. I went to spas. I went to like Fajita Pete's, Tiff Treats. I went to AutoZone. The AutoZone was happy. I passed out flyers. Went to a Lone Star. Went to Lone Star. It's a community college here. It was real interesting work.
Oh, I think we lost Sharon again. Little freeze on her video.
Day gig. So the $25 an hour, it's not bad money. It's kind of easy money. If you have to like driving, if you don't mind driving, because you're gonna drive. My radius is probably like a 20-mile radius of the edible arrangement. That's what it was today. So if you don't mind driving, want to meet people, it's a great way to meet people. I went to title companies today. I went to spas. I went to schools. Went to a couple of eating places. But it's easy money. I was done at 4. I was done by 4:30, and I just came on home. And one thing I like about it, The hours are, I'm not in traffic because I don't have to be there until 10:30. So I'm not in the school zone traffic. I'm not in the traffic of people trying to get to work. So that makes it real good. And also leaving at 4:45 today, surprisingly, I was not in any traffic. So it's a real good, it's a good side gig. But it's not for everybody. And at first I thought I wasn't gonna like it. I really thought I was not gonna like it, but I've been doing it now. Tomorrow's my fourth day, and I'll have it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday. And one thing when you go in there, they want you to take pictures and take pictures of the product with the people inside that you meet. I went to a barber shop today, and it was 4 employees in there, and of course they were much younger than me, but they were just so enthusiastic about getting the edibles, and we took pictures, and it was just a good group of young people who I interacted with today. Then, of course, today I went to a veterinarian's office. He was kind of grouchy, so when you kind of sense if they really want you to be there. So what I did, I just gave him the information and thanked him for letting me come into his business. And then I left immediately. I didn't wait around or anything. And I took pictures of the outside, took a selfie. Sometimes, especially when you're going into the schools, they will stop you right there at the front door because, schools with the kids and everything, which I understood, but they did still take the flyers, edible arrangements. Everybody loves edible arrangements. A couple of hotels I went in today, they were interested in doing something for the employees for Halloween. And so they can contact edible arrangements and make the arrangements. Then the holidays coming up for Thanksgiving. A lot of companies, smaller companies will just do something for their employees for Christmas. So it's a good little side gig. I would look into it. You can just download the Field Day app and see if you like it. And right now, from Cypress, Texas, in Houston area outside of Katy, they are really looking for people to do this. And like it's good for like college students too, or like I'm retired and notary's my side business. But I stopped doing loan signings, and like I said, I got my certification for my apostille. But then I just happened up on this, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it, and I would just look into it and see if it might be something you might like to do. Thank you for Ms. Phyllis for giving me the time to talk about and telling everybody about Field Day app.
Sharon, that was really fantastic. Thank you so much for that information. I have a quick question though. So I don't know if I missed it or if that was conveyed during that little piece where you kind of froze on your video and we lost a little audio. So my question is, when you're downloading that Field Day app and you're taking on these brands, are they giving you a set map of businesses that you have to visit, or is this your choice? Random, no. You just go out and visit businesses.
They give you a route.
Okay.
When you go into that brand, they give you, when you click on that business, and then you click on like an arrow, and it's going to take you to the map for that business. And they give you a route for every business, and that's what you do. And then once you get into the app, all of it's set up where you take your pictures. You can scan their business card in if they have a business card. You scan that business card in, and once you do that, it's gonna drop down with like about 6 questions that you can ask the business, like what is this? How many employees you have? Would they be interested in using their brand like Smoothie King edibles? Then you even write a little note. I write the person's name that you met. If sometimes, and most times I didn't have any problems, I asked the people inside to take a picture with the coupon of the little pamphlet that I gave them. And most of them were really happy to do it. Some of them said they don't want their picture taken, and it was no problem. They do not post your pictures anywhere. This is just for the companies to see and maybe reach out to these potential customers and businesses. So that's what they do. But I'm really enjoying it.
That sounds really kind of fun, being able to go to businesses all over the city and just give away food and smoothies.
Yeah.
Stuff that makes people smile. That's okay.
And Smoothie King is pretty popular. So when I went in there with a coupon, because they had like 50% off the 20 ounce or larger, and then on Fridays, Smoothie King $5 smoothies, I think, for the 24 ounce. So it was pretty neat. And like I said, people were genuinely, happy to get the information. Like with edible arrangements, it was the same thing. And so they would say, oh, okay, we can set something up for Halloween, because that's the next, holiday. And a couple of hotels said, okay, I can do something for my employees for Halloween. So it's a good little side gig. Doesn't have anything to do with notaries. I did not go in passing out my cards or anything like that. It was just strictly working for Smoothie King edible arrangement. And that's what I did.
So Phyllis has posted in the chat window, everybody. She's given us the website for NACHI, the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. I'm amazed I remembered all those words. And also the YouTube video for NACHI. And what else?
I posted the Field Day app.
And the Field Day app, right. So that's all in the chat window, and you can download and save that chat window as well. Any questions for Phyllis or Sharon or Ronnie today?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Sharon, did she talk about the pay for?
Oh yeah, the pay is $25 per hour. And they don't pay for mileage. So it's $25 per hour. And like I said, the farthest I went today, I think was like 15 miles out of the range where I went to pick up my edible. Excuse my dog, she's acting real crazy. It's about 15 miles out, but everything is pretty much generally in the same vicinity.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Great job. We appreciate you sharing with us.
Yeah, that was really fantastic. Kind of interesting. Different than what I've heard on some of the others before. So that's pretty cool. All righty. Any other questions? Nobody? I want to get Phyllis and Ronnie to chime in real quick. So we talked about why you should look for general notary work. And we talked about marketing and advertising for it, but where specifically, and the two of you can put your chat heads together here, where specifically can someone look to find general notary work? So we're putting it on our website, we're doing a Google My Business and a Bing, and we're trying to get all of that exposure. But if we want to look for general notary work, where do we look?
Ms. Phyllis, do you want to start or you want me to start?
Yeah, I'll start. I think one of the easiest and most overlooked places to start is the local banks and credit unions. Because the local banks and credit unions, they offer notary services, but a lot of documents they won't notarize. So they're always looking for a notary. They turn a lot of notarizations away because they're not going to do them. Also, I would check with your local UPS store too, because they have, and also keep in mind too, that the local banks, the local credit unions and your UPS stores, things of that nature, they have set hours that they work. And their hours are set just about the same hours that everybody else works. So a lot of people are at work and can't get to a notary. So if those entities have your business card and are aware of you, then they can also share that information with their customers, and they do. So that's just right off the bat where you places that you can go. And I'm gonna just let you guys think about that and let Ronnie share what he has to share.
Okay.
So I agree with the local banks and credit unions. When I was first building my business in Los Angeles years ago, I made a deal with Bank of America because I lived about 4 blocks that I would come running if they had anybody that needed a mobile notary, and they couldn't notarize the documents for anybody unless they were for the bank. So they had a ton of my business cards that they would just give to their customers. I talked to the business manager actually, who sent me his business clients. And the next thing was, when I lived in Los Angeles, I made a partnership with the FedEx. I was actually working a full-time job like many of you start doing. And I was the 5 o'clock notary at FedEx. They don't do notarizations at FedEx. And so at 5 o'clock, anybody that needed a notarization in the building that had been down to FedEx looking for one, they would say, come at 5 o'clock. And sometimes I would have a line, 30 minutes, around the block, which killed traffic for me. But, it just depended on how many documents someone brought. But I was working in the AT&T Center at the time with, I guess 2,000 something employees. Somebody always needed a notarization. It just, amazing. So making partnerships with places that you think people will have notarizations. And then again, I'm going to reiterate what we talked about earlier. Your online presence is going to also bring you business. You have to have a kind of a balance of places that will refer you out, banks, FedEx, a lot of UPS stores here do their own notarizations, but I have cards in UPS stores here that say, if our notary's out, call this person. So you can do that. If they have a notary on site, that notary's not there every day. So you can let them know, like in case of emergency, make a business card that's called, when I did the 5 o'clock notary, it said the 5 o'clock notary, and by the Hollywood Notary. And you need to work your angles the best that you can, but bring it back full circle. Your online presence is going to be your biggest thing when it comes full circle. If you have a business card and people are passing them out for you, it should have a website on it. It should have a way for them to get in contact with you. It should have information about what your fees are, those types of things, and how to schedule with you. So if you seek out people to pass out your business cards for you, it can't just be a dead business card. You may be in a notary, and hopefully you will be in a notary, or living your fabulous life after hours for them to contact you, but they need to know how to get in touch with you. So do make sure that you use physical, referrals, people that people that you've made partnerships with, and then also put your online presence out there.
Awesome. Any questions?
Somebody have their hand raised.
I have a question. Good evening. My question is, one question is there a place that we'll be able to rewatch this video? And
yes, this will be posted to the PrimeTime Notaries website, which is primetimenotaries.com. It'll also be shared on Notary Stars under the PrimeTime Notaries tab. So if you're a Notary Stars member, you can find it there, or you can find it on the PrimeTime Notaries website. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the program is we have an 8-page handout to give to everybody that'll be attached to that recording when you go in and to view it later. There'll be an 8-page handout in there for you with some information, okay?
Okay, and my other question is, I've gone to my local bank that is actually a credit union, And I've asked them about notaries and they were like, oh, we already have some on site. So I was like, okay, well, I guess this isn't a place to go. Can you all talk about that? Like how to still maybe.
Yes, no means not right now, and we have notaries on site means that you need to remind them that they may be out sick one day. And if they need a notary, everyone who knows me at Unlimited Ink, this whole entire company was started as someone's backup notary or backup signing agency. You have to learn to work that language of let me be your back pocket guy or gal. Let me be your number two. I have no doubt in telling you that my multi-million-dollar signing agency was started as number two. In fact, when I walked in the door for Open Door, which is our biggest client, they looked me in the face and said, "You will always be number two. We are now number one." So you have to accept being the back pocket and keep spreading those business cards and look at no as not right now. And we have a full staff of notaries means let me be your backup person.
And literally that's true in any aspect of this business. You're coming in on the bottom floor, you have to put in the time and take those steps up the ladder, and they'll need you. And
And they
be
will.
there.
My son is in sales, and one thing he tells me is he says, "Mom, I love when they tell me no, because that just means that the next person is going to tell me yes." So, just because one person said no, you don't stop there. It's really, it's like anything else, it's a numbers game too. So, people say, well, I signed up with 10 signing companies and my phone is not ringing. No, you didn't sign up with enough. You're going to just keep going. You got to keep going. You got to keep going until you start getting those yeses.
Yep, exactly.
And they will happen.
Yep. Perseverance. Any other questions?
I have another one. My other
Okay.
question is, so when you, I think Ronnie was talking about his clientele with banks and something else, I can't remember, but, with the lawyers, did you set your price, or did they set the price, or did you go based on what a notary gets paid in your state? Like, how did you work that?
I have a travel fee that's called a minimum travel fee. It's my way around charging mileage to the actual signing. No matter where you are, I'm exactly that many miles away to charge you that when you call, because you don't know where I'm at when I call. And so I have a minimum travel fee, and that is the minimum that I will walk out my door for and go travel. And then I charge the notarization. So I think I charged like $35 because at the time I was charging $25 or $29, and I charged them my fee to go for that single document. When it became business, wanting to send out all of my notaries that work at Unlimited Ink, that was a negotiation conversation of he wanted to pay $35, for every notary. And I was like, well, I got to get a cut. And notaries generally, I was doing this to be kind because you just happened to catch me at the right moment. I said, there's not a notary in Arizona that will turn their wheels for less than $75 or $70. So we're going to need to charge 90. So we charge him 90 and the notary makes 70 off of those calls. And that was a negotiation. But he knows when he schedules it at Unlimited Ink, we always have a notary available.
Awesome. All right, guys. So we're winding down to the last part of our program. Any other quick hands or questions we can answer?
Question here.
Go ahead, Jane.
Is there any way, or is there any sort of a service offered to mentor somebody from the very start of this?
To mentor somebody?
Yeah, is there anybody that can go over every single thing to start the business?
Gene, you're
Randy
in
Bilbo
Notary Stars,
with
right?
Notary Nerds. Well, Notary Stars does training on the loan documents. He means like setting up your notary business.
Yeah.
I highly recommend Randy Bilbo with Notary Nerds for Arizona notaries. If you're brand new, she's very much like Miss Phyllis with her training, and she's Arizona specific. So if you're needing additional training, she does that, but it is all online as well.
Okay. All right, because I have no idea about any of this. The only notary experience I've ever had is when I've used one myself. And I picked somebody from Thumbtack. That's where I got her. But I have no idea. Like I was interested. It was interesting to learn about the forms, because apparently there's 3 different forms. There's the jurat, the acknowledgement form, and there's the hybrid form. Do you carry those with you for in case you need additional forms?
You should.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you should have, and you wouldn't be carrying a hybrid. You would be carrying a hybrid is something that you have to choose between. For at least for Arizona, we're not allowed to do them. You have to decide if you want to do an acknowledgement or a jurat. But you carry those acknowledgements and jurats and copy certifications and all of the documents that as a notary. And let me tell you how funny this is, Mr. Gene. California notaries would probably shoot you that you don't know that, because they take a 6-hour course just on those documents, whereas other states don't even, they just put it in a handbook and hope the notary reads it. And that's and a lot of us found our careers by not knowing what I found this by people coming in a grocery store I was building a website for, asking for notaries. And I had never heard or used a notary before in my life. I just knew that people were needing them.
And where are you from, Gene?
Where
are you located?
Phoenix.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
Oh, you're in Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah,
So we are moving toward our giveaway. You know, we always have a giveaway on these. We're going to do a giveaway for Miss Phyllis. And then after we stop the recording, we're actually going to do a giveaway for Notary Stars. And the reason we're doing that after the recording is because it's special. And we don't want people who are looking at the recording sometime later to try and get in on that deal. So we're going to do Miss Phyllis's giveaway. We're going to wrap it up like we're closing out. I want you all to keep your seats right there. Anybody who's there after we finish and stop the recording will have an opportunity to hear Mr. Ronnie tell us what his giveaway is for every single person who's still on the call once we stop our recording on our video. So to start with, Miss Phyllis is giving away today a copy of Professor Clausen's book, Notary Best Practices. It's a fabulous book. If you guys haven't seen it or read it or heard of it, Professor Clausen is a attorney, isn't he, Phyllis?
Yeah, he's a professor and an attorney.
Yep,
And,
hence
yeah.
the Professor Clausen.
A professor and an attorney.
Yeah. So what I'm going to have everybody who's still with us, if you are interested in receiving Professor Clausen's book as a gift from Phyllis Traylor, I want you to type a number in the window between 1 and 50, and you only get to do it once, guys.
I love this part because they just go so fast.
They
Yep.
do. I thought I saw it. Yes.
Yeah.
Charmaine.
Holy cow. It's never gone this long before. Somebody usually hits the number by now.
You did. Charmaine hit it.
I got it. Shumaine in
Shumaine.
Indiana. You are the winner. Yay, Shumaine. So, Phyllis, do you want to tell Shumaine how to get in contact with you so that she can give you her shipping information?
Yeah, I just put my email address in there. I'll put it in there again. Just need her to email me her information.
Shemaine, that's a fabulous book. You're really going to like that. You're really going to enjoy that. Congratulations. All righty. So we're getting ready to wrap up. We're going to go to our one last thought today. And then when we stop the recording, stay around. And then Mr. Mickle will tell us what his fabulous, what's behind door number 2. All right, guys. So Phyllis, any last words, any last thoughts for us today?
Yes, I want to thank everybody for, again, participating. And also remember that, you know, there is a beginning to this. So when you're at the beginning, you know, there's going to be some hard work involved. You know, everything is not going to happen overnight. So just be patient, keep doing what you're doing, and it will definitely pay off. I promise you. You get discouraged sometimes, but just keep doing what you're doing. It'll work. And again, thank you so much for being here.
That was awesome. Thank you. Mr. Ronnie Nichols, your last thought?
So I say this kind of often, but if you're on this call, then I know you are on a journey to become the best notary that you can be. And I agree with Ms. Phyllis. You can't let people tell you that you can't. If I let people tell me what I was supposed to be doing with my life, I'd be working at McDonald's, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted more for my life. And I know that all of you are here today, want more for your life. And yes, perseverance, keep going. Don't let people tell you no. When I decided to quit my job in Los Angeles to become a mobile notary, people thought I was crazy because you have to have a job in LA. Like your landlord will get you out of your apartment. So I don't ever let anybody tell you no. If you know you're on the right track, keep going and keep tuning into things like this. You can never stop learning.
Awesome. Thank you. That's great. That's awesome. Everybody, everything this evening's been terrific. The one last thought I want to leave you with today is your thoughts. What you think, you create. What you feel, you attract. And what you imagine, you become. So keep the thoughts focused on the goal. All right, guys, everybody turn your cameras on. We're going to do a wave goodbye, and then we're not really going goodbye. We're stopping the recording, but so stick around after we stop the recording. Cameras, everybody. And let's kind of pan through the group. Thanks, everybody, for being here. It was really fun. Loved seeing all your smiling faces, too. All right. And